Hey, how you doing? Stick with me for the next few minutes and you'll discover a jealously guarded secret. One that'll boost your online sales like crazy. Here's the story. I've been an obsessive student of success principles since the early 80s. It's been a fascinating but oftentimes shocking journey. One that forced me to endure continuous business failures, usually at least 3 per year for 9 long and emotionally heart-wrenching years. It wasn't as if my business ventures made some money for a while and then failed. Oh no, I couldn't get any of them off the ground. They never made a single dime. They only lost money. Now listen, no sane person will continue to endure self-imposed emotional torture for that long, not to mention the dire financial consequences of that. But I did. That was one instance in which my neuroses served me well. I talked about all this in the May 2023 issue of the Doberman Dan letter, my newsletter. It wasn't until I started a mail order business that I finally began to make a little bit of money. Although that business was a dismal failure in the beginning too. Luckily, I stumbled onto Dan Kennedy shortly after that, and that was the breakthrough that saved my failed little mail order business. By the way, this was pre-internet, right? The internet just was not a viable medium back there. But all the stuff that the internet marketers pitch you, right? The make money online 24/7, live anywhere you want, all that stuff. That was all achievable with the mail order business back then. So anyway, thanks to Sir Dan of Kennedy, a mere 12 months later, I'd achieved my dream of freedom from my life of mind-numbing drudgery and wage slavery, punctuated with periods of sheer stark raging terror as a Dayton, Ohio police officer. You see, in my manic mind, I had no options left. I'd burned the ships. I made the damn the torpedoes full speed ahead decision that I was going to be successful with a business of my own, some business, any business, or die trying. Fortunately for me, all due to grace, by the way, I didn't have to die trying. My fun little old mail order business rescued me from what would have been my inevitable fate, a life of quiet desperation. Since then, this process has fascinated me. It's kept my undivided attention for 4 decades now. Because after thousands of hours of study, and more importantly than that, thousands of hours of in the trenches experience, implementing my studies, I've come to one conclusion: on earth as it is in heaven, or as above, so below. Or to put it into terms a Barberton High School push out can understand, your thoughts, or more accurately, your response, or worse, your reaction to your thoughts, ultimately creates your reality. This is an incontrovertible law of the universe. Ignorance of it or rejection of it will result in outcomes not favorable to you, not desired by you, and ultimately not determined by you. In other words, because of your ignorance, unbelief, and or rejection of this principle, you hand control of your life over to others, and they will gladly use it for their benefit at your detriment, which is what the majority allows, until on their deathbed they grok this truth in the final minutes of the game, and at last, with their final dying breath, they realize the heartbreak of a life half lived. This is the only explanation as to why 2 people can take the exact same instruction from me. One fails and laments, "This isn't anything new, this stuff doesn't work anymore," and all that bullshit, while another succeeds beyond his or her wildest dreams and makes more money than any sane human being could ever need. It is the only explanation as to why this happens. Yet, the LMMs, as I call them, the lesser mortal marketers, continue to insist on more and more how-to, all but ignoring this most important and most powerful part of the equation. You see, if you really wanted to, you could learn the basics of direct response marketing in a weekend from a book. And by the way, don't get me started on this rant. Online marketing is direct response marketing. And when somebody says that to me, I think to myself, you dumb. Like, I'd like to learn online marketing someday, and they're already marketing online. You dumb rookie. You are gonna struggle worse than you can ever possibly imagine because you did not study the history of your business. You went into the car building business without knowing who Henry Ford is. Online market, for the love of all that is good and holy, online marketing is direct response marketing. Listen, you could learn it in a weekend, and armed with that alone, you could build any size business and income you desire. As long as you got your mindset under control, as long as you know how to take every thought captive. In fact, if you devote 90% of your time to taking every thought captive and only 10% of your time to the rubber meets the road pragmatic how-to, that's all you need to get richer than Oprah. I'm as serious as a heart attack. My experience on this planet and the experience of many, many other successful people backs that up a million times over. So that should give you a pretty good idea of where the majority of your focus and work needs to go, right? It ain't exactly rocket surgery, you know? Because if a dumbass like me can overcome all my poor programming, and I had much, much more negative poverty programming than the average bear, then without a doubt, you can do it too. You're simply replacing a limiting belief that doesn't serve you with an empowering belief that does. Listen, believe you me, this is the catalyst that puts all your marketing efforts on steroids. It can take you from working your butt off with little to nothing to show for it, struggling to barely make ends meet like I was for 9 long years, questioning if you should keep going or just go apply for the greeter job at Walmart, to plenteous prosperity and peace of mind in practically no time at all. That is what's in store for you when you combine the metaphysical, the internal work, like with the physical, external work, like copywriting, creating offers, and all that stuff. Yeah, it really is that simple, as most profound truths are. Listen, what you've been gifted in this video is the distillation of thousands of years of esoteric wisdom. Truths shared by prophets, sages, and mystics for eons. Not kept from the world, just not accepted by the world. Well, the majority, that is, because it's too simple. But as you know, the majority is always wrong. Always wrong about everything. Therefore, do the opposite and prosper beyond your wildest dreams. And it all starts with what you discovered in this video. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it. Now, may I ask a favor? Please hit the like button. And now here's the big ask, actually. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for listening. Pax Vobiscum.